Welcome back. I'm playing Dawn of War, Dark Crusade, and we're working on our Necron campaign on the hard difficulty. So we'll attack here, the Pavonian Heartland. The breadbasket of Kronos in the Imperial era, the Heartland features well-developed farmland separated by small forests. The Imperial-built cities in the region still bear the scars of the Iron Lung pandemic, which struck in the 39th millennium. Kronos' temperate band grants the Heartland long but cool summers and very long growing season. Powerful windstorms can buffet the region, but mild weather is the norm. Otras Critical Care Center. Dire news regarding the spread of an unknown pathogen causing the so-called Iron Lung Plague. Medicus centers in the northern sectors and in the cities further west must prepare for full quarantine. What's more, they must bulwark themselves against the action of the seditious and heretical elements that seem determined to see the disease spread far and wide. We here at this Critical Care Center have been serving as the central coordinating authority since the first cases were confirmed in the city some 19 days ago. Our facilities are equipped for absolute containment, and the first several waves of patients were brought here for isolation. Subsequent cases have been isolated in the secondary centers and converted hab blocks as the sheer number of patients has surpassed our capabilities. Last night, a commotion erupted in the isolation wing as several infected patients turned on the staff, claiming the nurses were killing rather than treating them. Soon after, a voice, that of an outside heretical agitator, I believe, came over the Voxcaster system used for general announcements. This agent provocateur spewed heretical foolishness about the Iron Lung Plague being the blessing from a higher rather than an affliction. From on high rather than an affliction, and that those who contract the disease should be honored as the chosen of the so-called great unclean one, and so forth. This led to outright riot amongst the patients, one quickly overwhelmed by beleaguered staff. Over 300 infected and infectious patients escaped the facility and fled the city streets, heading north toward the population centers. Current death toll in Otra City is 11,672, with over 22,000 more infected. I expect these numbers to quadruple in the next few days as direct result of these heretical actions. So that's not a very good thing to happen on your breadbasket of your planet there. That can definitely be a big issue here. So I think this was against the Imperial Guard. So we'll kind of continue on here. We were able to kill 140 of their units to take the Fury. Now we'll have to see what it's like actually having to take them out by sniping their base like we did the Forces of Chaos. I feel like I got a little bit of an understanding of the mechanics here. It seems like going with a warrior build works out pretty well early on, because you can raise them up for free. Now you have to pay for the reinforcements, but at least get you some units on the field while you're waiting to make some generators and get that summoning core, I think it's what it's called, built up, so you can start buffing yourself and then get to the next building upgrade once you start to awaken the monolith more. And then obviously our Necron Lord will become stronger and stronger as we progress and get more and more Wargear. Because right now he's kind of a sissy, but I do like that mask, because I seem to recall that Tau specifically, their stealth teams are permanently camouflaged, and then unless you have a detector unit, they'll just sit there and attack you indefinitely, and you can't do anything about it. And I think the only detector units, well, that's not true. The only detector unit I've used thus far has been our Scarabs. Now I'm sure other units that we have on our roster are probably detectors too, but I don't know if I want to be making units specifically for that when I can just use the hero, creep it with our army, and then be good to go. So I think rushing that mask is going to make the most sense. Now we have, alright, so basic base, one enemy, so this should not be too challenging for us. I think that dual base situation would have challenged us a little bit if we were trying to do it at our current skill level. I'm still learning the basic mechanics, but I feel like each mission's going progressively easier as I'm kind of learning the basics. So I think I definitely kind of like this setup where we just spam out Scarab swarms right away so we can start building everything up. send one out to capture these points and then build it up to increase our tech speed, while the other ones focus on getting our economy and then getting the the warriors up for free. And then when we're ready to attack, we can start spending resources to reinforce them. Or if we get attacked unexpectedly, we can rapidly start reinforcing them. Now I did change the game volume this time, so let me know with the game sounds if it's better, worse. I felt like the first episode was probably a little too quiet when I went back and saw it during the editing process. So hopefully this time it won't be too loud. It seems like I turned it down a lot after the introduction cinematic because it was super loud, so then I had to do that recording again just to capture it on a lower volume. So hopefully I've kind of gotten to a better situation here with the audio. But give me some feedback if it's too loud, too quiet still. Alright, get that built up here. And we'll get that building up here so we can start teching. Alright, yeah, see these guys are already attacking me. We'll pull you back. I guess I'll just have you come over to here. He seems to want to be attacking my base, or my obelisk, I should say. Well, if he wants to do that and sacrifice all of his guardsmen to me, I'll definitely do that. Because that's just free resources that we're taking out here. Alright, start buffing up our warriors. Now the question is do I feel strong enough to attack or not? I guess that's the one thing I'm not quite sure about yet, is what's a good enough army to start attacking bases. Especially prior to our Necron Lord becoming OP. I'm also not sure if it makes a lot of sense for me to keep upgrading all these obelisks like that. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of wasting our resources, but then when the guardsmen are attacking, we're totally destroying them by using that ability. It also makes it a little more durable, so if they're attacking me, then I can reinforce ourselves and have a little extra time to build things up. I don't know, it feels weird to not focus on getting an army, but focus on our economy. But I think what I'll do is, since I think I can just focus on building this up, and then if I trap the Imperial Guard in their base, maybe I can use this as like a jumping off point to force him to attack us. And then we can get the Wargear for the defensive missions going really quick as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I seem to remember that at times it could be a little bit frustrating getting the AI to attack you. So maybe if I can just aggro that right away here, especially if I spend a little bit of time buffing up this location, then it should be an easy victory for all those defensive missions. Alright. So, do I do another one? I'm still just not sure about what's overkill for armies and what is to be expected. Alright, I mean, we've got a full population of 20. Speaking that, it says we're going to be facing a basic enemy. It feels like this is probably overkill. Man, let's just get those overlords up. Or immortals, not overlords. Well, I guess we're going to blow through all of our resources here. Well, they must have at least tier 2, right? Because I think you need to have tier 2 to get all 5 of your command squad out, if I remember correctly. Or maybe you have access to that right at the start, now that I think about that more. But you don't... Yeah, I guess you do get access to all of them. You just don't get their skills until you've unlocked them. There we go. That was kind of annoying. Alright, let's just fight these guys off. I see... I'm pretty sure it was just one base, right? I think maybe he just got these guys back up. Alright, let's go up there. I seem to recall the base is up that way, if I remember correctly. And is my memory any good? It's looking good so far. As there's one of the resource locations. Alright, so probably having 4 immortals is overkill. Since we just annihilated a fortified resource position. With, like, barely any issues. Alright, so I guess the base is to the right here. If they attack from 2 bases, then one's here and then the other one's to the right. Because I remember where they are, because I would get attacked so much on this map, but I couldn't remember which one's for the solitary attack and which one's when they're attacking with multiple guys. Alright, let's get you there. I'm not really liking that there's guys around my base right now. Because I don't have a lot of stuff near my own base to defend me. Alright, let's get those guys upgraded. Our hero is close to dying. Alright, well, let's just have the Immortals attack the fortification here. Alright, he's got an anti-vehicle turret over here. Yeah, see, this is way too much forces for what they have here. We're just annihilating that fortification like nobody's business. Yeah, okay, so we are way overbuilt there. Alright, and we'll buy our Immortals. Actually, I can't. I can't afford it.
One of your provinces is under attack. You can choose to fight on the battle map or to auto-resolve this battle. Auto-resolving can be dangerous, however, since it depends on the relative strength of your province and the attacker's forces. You always have a better chance of winning if you fight the battle yourself. There are also pieces of Wargear that can only be earned by fighting defensive battles on the battle map, so you should think carefully before auto-resolving. If you choose to fight and your army is on the province or one that neighbors it, your commander and his honor guard will join the defense. If not, you'll have to make do with whatever forces are garrisoned there.
Alright, well I guess we're going to be fighting then. Oh! Of course it's going to be doing this to a location. I mean, I guess this one's pretty fortified too. How did I do this? I guess let's just start getting the warriors out. I actually think I want a second monolith since that's also my barracks here. We already got 200 resources coming in. Let's just start reinforcing everybody since we have so many. Oh shit. He's got vehicles and shit coming for me already. Well, let's start getting immortals then. Damn, I wonder if I'm going to lose all these areas over here. Maybe we have to start fortifying this shit. Alright, let's just get the warriors upgraded further. Yeah, freaking Chimera, man. Alright, let's get that going. Let's get the Necron Lord out. Oh, I could get the Deathbringer. Alright, let's get the phylactery thing going to increase our range damage reduction. We'll get some heavy destroyers. Play around with some different units this time. Alright, let's start moving around here. And get you over to here. Although I don't think there's any way I'm going to get these guys to save that stuff. But I think if I can just kill his army, that should be worthwhile. I'll get the resurrection orb. Because if I can flank them around here, we should be able to trap him in. Or at least I thought we were going to, but I think he just escaped in his Chimera. Alright, let's get the spiders so I can get an idea of how they are. Alright. Given that they're attacking me from this angle, that makes me suspect that they got a base over here somewhere. Looks like I'm correct, because there's his vehicle production. Alright, let's get these guys over here. And we'll send these guys over, and I guess I'll just build this stuff up over here to replace the ones that were lost. And then because I built another monolith, I should be able to build more generators. And that should allow us to keep attacking. Alright, good. So it looks like we're about to destroy one base. Alright, perfect. Now we just gotta take out the other base. And I think if we saw last time, it was up in that corner. And like I said, the bases are always in the same spot. So it should still be there. If my memory is correct, which I'm pretty sure it is. Well, and given how aggressively they attacked me, I guess we are going to upgrade all these things in case I need to later on. I'm pretty sure you don't start with an awakened monolith even if you upgrade it. I think you just go back to the prior value, because that would be way too crazy broken. Alright, let's build some turrets there, just to try to keep you safe. In case they attack from this angle again. Alright. Here's his vehicle location, so let's get that taken out. Although it's not as scary now that we... Alright, there's the awakened monolith. I seem to recall not actually really liking them very much. I mean, it's nice to have a mobile base, but I seem to recall that they move so slow that I just got frustrated with it. But I want to just verify that I don't get it if I get attacked again in this location. Alright, let's do something like that. Alright, easy. Yep. We got a Wargear here. Alright, and I think I want the reinforced body, the Necron Lord's body, although the advanced self-repair to increase our regeneration can be cool. The Death Shroud could also be good. But I think just the massive... Yeah, see, that's barely any damage. I think the massive HP boost here is worth it. So the Necron Lord's body of living metal receives substantial reinforcement, making him more resilient in combat. So that it reduces his melee damage, or reduces his melee, and gives me 500, or the damage he suffers in melee, and it gives us 500 health. So I think the two of those things together makes it worthwhile. Now I seem to recall the spaceport's actually kind of a challenging mission, because you have to run around and get some servitors instead of actually fighting. So do I want to do that knowing that I have a 8-strong army, or do I attack somewhere else instead? I mean, that industrial production would be great to get 1,000 extra resources at the start of our mission. So that definitely is going to make the creeping go a lot faster. But then I'm going to have to fight the Space Marines. Alright, well, Pavonis. The second largest city in Kronos, Pavonis...
The second largest city of Kronos, Pavonis still resembles an imperial city despite this planet's Tao's ties. It is dominated by the ancient spaceport built there millennia ago. The city of Pavonis has changed very little since the early days of the human settlement. Its broad avenues still glorify the Imperium that abandoned Kronos. The winters are not as harsh as in the Northlands, but the overcast skies and cold rain are endemic. Adeptus Mechanicus to Magos Explorator Cumin. Author Magos Explorator Gaius. I arrived on planet Kronos with the Lythesh sector alongside the advance force sent by the Imperial Guards task force charged with hunting a particular miscreant of the Elder race. This target, a so-called Farseer of Uthoic craft world is said to be operating in conjunction with the newly encountered Xenos threat, tentatively categorized as the Necron. These later have been reported on Kronos, and so the Imperial Guard sent agents to investigate and seek out evidence of their target's presence here as well. My purpose here is not, however, to aid some fruitless Xenos hunt. Rather, I am here to find the works of one Magos Pallidus, a tech priest mentioned in the great archives of Mars as among the most enlightened our order has ever seen. In the days after the Horus Heresy, the Fabricator General dispatched Pallidus to this then uninhabited world to oversee study of a great Hellstorm cannon recovered from the Imperator Titan Aquila Ignis after it fell to the heretics. That cannon remains in the city of Ironworks Bay to this day, but my studies indicate that Pallidus did much exploring of this world. My hope in coming to Kronos was that Magos Pallidus may have left us some undiscovered treasures when he set about making this world his home. Kronos has exceeded all my hopes, and in the city of Pavonis I have discovered a true wonder. Kuman, I have uncovered a functioning Aeolus-class orbital control post. I need not remind you that this standard template construct long thought lost. We have only the vaguest description of it as the more efficient cousin of the Kyber tracking station. What a gift for understatement our Dark Age predecessors had. This station can track all orbital activity and plot courses to evade even the most complete siege formations. Alright, let's take a look here. So we got large force, 2 large bases, elite infantry. So this is going to be a difficult mission if I push it. I don't think I want to attack Vickery Bay yet. I could attack the Space Marine. It's only a 1 difficulty, so it should be way easier. And then we're going to have the Tau reinforce it because he's within 1 square of the place I'm attacking. But then getting to attack anywhere is going to be really powerful.
For much of the Dark Crusade, great fleets plied the orbital lanes above the battlefields of Kronos, using their firepower to ground long-range flights. Guardsmen and heretic alike had to fight meter by bloody meter, with great battle fleets exchanging fire across the skies. Trench warfare seemed an immutable fact of life for commanders on the ground. All this changed with the Battle of Pavonis. This spaceport featured an ancient Adeptus Mechanicus tracking system, merged with the alien technologies of the Tau Aircast. This system was sensitive enough to plot courses that avoided orbital fire, making strikes deep into enemy territory possible. A tech priest had discovered this technological marvel, and left his servitors to examine it in detail. Whichever force was able to recover these bionic servants would gain control of the station and be able to launch strikes across Kronos.
Alright. So it's all about getting the servitors here. We have to find 6 servitors. And they're randomly scanned, well, they're not randomly on the map, they're on the map. I kind of remember some of the locations. Alright, there's one.
That human is a crude melding of flesh and metal, but it contains valuable information. Bring it to the monolith. The Scarabs are analyzing the human hybrid, but we require more of them.
And the thing is you can steal servitors from other enemies' base, and then if you crash into them while you're running around and the enemy's captured it, you'll capture it. So you have to be careful that you don't activate them and then just end up feeding it to our opponents here. I seem to recall they had somebody over here. Yep, see, there he is. So that's 2.
That human is a crude melding of flesh
That's 3.
and metal, but it contains valuable information. Bring it to the monolith.
Ah, shit, he's attacking me already. Maybe I gotta actually bring you back to base here. think there's another one over here. So there you go, there's a stealth team that I wouldn't be able to attack had I not had the infiltration.
But we require more of them.
Alright, so we've captured 3, our opponent has captured 1. Yeah, see, there's the stealth team attacking me and I can't even see them. Thankfully, early on, the damage they do is abysmal, but once they get fully equipped, it can actually be problematic. Alright, and those fire warriors are just attacking us. Alright, another base is getting attacked. What I don't want is for him to run into our base and capture all of our servitors, because that would cause us to lose this map. See, he's already captured 3 of them. This is my fear. So maybe I should actually be attacking him. And then maybe I can capture the servitors that he's captured. Oh boy. Well, let's do that, I guess. I guess let's bring... Well, again, I can't risk losing those servitors in our base. There's at least one there.
Have recovered a servitor.
Oh shit. Alright, here we go. So they've got 2 over here. So it'll get us up to 5, assuming they don't capture any of them back. That means we just need to find one more. They keep capturing them back, so we're kind of bouncing back and forth here. Alright, we'll keep 2 back here to protect the base.
That human is a crude melding of flesh and metal, but it contains valuable information. Bring it to the monolith.
Oh, don't capture him. Damn it!
The scarabs are analyzing the human hybrid, but we require more of them.
Come on, Scarabs, get over there.
The scarabs are analyzing the human hybrid.
Oh, of course he's got his hero up there. Well, I guess I'm not getting him then. Alright. Please die. Oh, shit. Alright, doesn't matter. Oh. So because it's not a regular skirmish, it's not ending it. For some reason, those guys are not capturing our guys.
Do not let them savor their petty victory.
Oh my gosh. Alright, you guys come back to the base. Alright, Alright, we've got 5 servitors. We got one more that we gotta find. Our opponent has 2 of them. I don't remember where the rest of them are.
The living have recovered a servitor.
Shit.
Do not let them savor their petty victory. That human is a crude melding of flesh and metal, but it contains valuable information. Bring it to the monolith.
Alright, if that one gets back, that should... Oh shit, that's a big army. And these guys are attacking you. Nice.
Our purge continues unabated.
Alright, spaceport is earned.
You have conquered Pavonis and gained the spaceport special ability. The spaceport allows you to move your army around the campaign map much more freely. Instead of moving to or attacking only adjacent provinces, you can move to or attack almost any province on the map. The spaceport does not allow you to attack a distant stronghold, however. To attack an enemy stronghold, you still have to do so from a neighboring province.
I think taking out this Imperial production is the way to go. Because that'll get us 1,000 energy.
I have to assume that with this being power, that would be a huge buff to my Necrons, because that's all I have is energy for my resources. So maybe what I'll do is I'll read the archive here, and then end the episode. And then next time I'll have to decide, are we going to try to kill somebody, or do I keep running around and try to get some of these other bonuses? Because, you know, the increased manpower and stuff could be good too, to help us launch a good attack against a lot of the enemy forces as well. Because I'm not exactly sure how strong they're going to be. Now, I remember that as you kill more strongholds, the other factions become stronger and stronger. I do remember that. I remember that there used to be like a certain way I would go through the campaign depending on the difficulty, but I no longer remember any of that. So let's take a look at the Vandean Coast here. So a mineral-rich region. Vandia includes several large industrial centers built in the Imperial era and still in operation. The cities are now underpopulated and polluted, but remain critical industrial assets for the Tau. The manufacturing and smelting plants of the Vandean cities have scarred the landscape and stained the air, making the cities valuable but hardly pleasant. Soot-laden snow or acidic rainfall from the gray skies year-round. Production report confidential. I regret to inform you that the Vandia minor build plants 27 and 29 will not meet their quotas this cycle. Production is expected to be at 72% and 21% of projections respectively. Explanations follow. Build Plant 27 suffered unexpected work shortages and slowdowns due largely to the inclement weather that affected Sector 27 of the city. A meteorological bottleneck of sorts occurs over the area, making it difficult for environmental agents to disperse and making the sector highly prone to acidic rains. This cycle's rains were the worst in 20 cycles, causing many health problems among the workers. Incentive programs and distribution of stims failed to make up for the decrease in productivity. Build Plant 29 suffered a catastrophic detonation of its central power plant 4 sub-cycles ago, and has yet to come back online. Repairs have been ongoing and since shortly after the detonation, but progress is very slow. I cannot even promise that the plant will be up online again next cycle. It seems evident that the detonation at Plant 29 was an intentional act of sabotage carried out by the most militant wing of the so-called Vandean Workers Pact.
which as previously reports have detailed, claims that workers in the cities are suffering needlessly. Clear explanation of the needs of the greater community has failed to convince this militant wing. I repeat my request for dedicated fire warrior chains to pursue and eliminate these saboteurs. The local city militia is too limited and too prone to infiltration by packed elements to be up to the task.
Alright, well, next time we will take this over, and then I'll have to decide, do I start attacking some of these factions, because, you know, I've now almost effectively boxed in the Space Marines, I 100% boxed in the Imperial Guard, and now I'm pissing off the Tau by taking over their area here, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. I could be attacked multiple times. Now, you do get Wargear for defensive missions. I think it maxes out at 5, so, you know, I'd rather not get attacked all at once, but it would also be a huge power creep for my hero to have that Wargear to help him push through, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So with that, I'm going to sign off for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to continue to post more content for you. Have a great day.